Whew, I just came back from my morning walk, which I have been doing for the last month or so. And it's been really nice to just get the day going with a little bit of movement. Because, I haven't been commuting to uni to campus every morning, so this is just morning ritual. And today it was especially nice because of this. It has been raining all through the night and the whole morning. It's just making everything way more beautiful. Because, usually around here, everything is just always sunny and gray and brown. It makes everything look kind of like washed out. And so now with the overcast sky and everything being wet and with the rain, it's just as if you had turned up your saturation on your eyes. Anyway, now I'm gonna go back to working on the self-avoiding walk analysis. Okay, it's time again to co-design a course. Since I already did that last year when we had to improvise, I was the teaching assistant for marine discovery. Since we had to go online for the first time, we didn't really know what to do with all the in-class, in-person activities that we had, because in marine discovery, students learn about, of course, marine things, but also I would say a third of this course was for the students to hold a workshop for around grade 4 to 6 maybe, for them to go into our Flandreau Science Museum, and there is an exhibit in the basement where those classrooms come in and they are taught by the students of this marine discovery course. Yeah, so we had to replace that and shuffle around many things last year. We did that. I think we managed pretty well. And yeah, this year around, we will be half in person again. So now I am brainstorming just, as you can see. It's a lot of fun. I have a lot of ideas of how to make this project-driven and a research project and an outreach project. It's really rewarding to be kind of the co-instructor for this. Since we do live in the desert here, there are unfortunately no such things like strawberries or cherries to be picked that currently my parents are picking, but instead now after or during the monsoons, these lovely fruits are ripe. Those are prickly pears, and yeah, they taste really nice. The thing is just that nobody really bothers to harvest them because they are, well, prickly, because you can't really touch them at all because of the tiny micro prickles in there. So yeah, that's why you have to come well armed. So many seeds, but still tastes nice. Alright, Friday morning, and I am going to meet right now with a computer science professor who has agreed to help me with some of my computational problems that I have with the analysis. Let's see how it works. And more than 1.5 hours later, I'm now in my lab because I had to pump up the tires of my bike. Wow, I am reinvigorated about science. Because that meeting was really great. Stephen Koburov in the computer science department of the U of A, he was really committed to this. He said, wow, where to start? Last fall semester I already started, looking for people in the computer science department who could help me, and then Anna pointed me towards this guy who she has worked with already a few years ago. But I asked him again in the winter, and then, I don't know, he kind of dropped the ball, and I asked him again now in the summer. We both found time and met up. He seems really committed to this project because he finds stuff interesting about what I want to do. And he said he has a bunch of undergrads who potentially would pick up some of my issues as a project, or even some grad students or postdocs, but that's up in the air. Yeah, so we now have a good plan of how to proceed. They're going to be working on models and deep neural networks, maybe GANs, so generative adversarial networks. We can make papers. So finally, I don't feel so lonely anymore because I have someone to collaborate with and actually push bounce ideas off of. Because now my other collaboration that I started 4 years ago on a workshop is now also coming to its closure, where we are currently in the final stages of writing up a manuscript. Anyway, that has been really rewarding as well, because just being intellectually challenged by these group meetings that we've had every other week, bouncing off ideas and developing things, creating stuff. Yeah, now the plan forward is to meet with Anna and discuss a few more things in the beginning of the semester, have a committee meeting, and make connections, make a network. That's what I have needed all along, just contacts, someone to point me to different resources and different people that they know in their department, because it is always very tough to build bridges between different fields, so biology and computer science in this case, because we speak different languages. We use different words, different concepts to describe the same or similar things, and just finding out what the other person or field is interested in and how we can kind of bring our strengths together. Just, finding the adapter between two fields, that is really challenging. So it's great that I have found at least a person who seems to understand my biological problems and to, as I said, build a network, which is super important in life in general, but especially science moving forward career-wise. See that ridge? That's where I'm gonna bike first and then hike up. Nice and fresh early in the morning. Well, fresh in the morning. It's gonna take me about a bit more than an hour to get there. Then hopefully only around 3 hours to go up and down. And then more than an hour back.
The sun is up and I know a place we can go.
Warm up, done. Let's get to it.
It's not far away, it's not far at all.
I found water!
Oh, you can see the mountains and hold the clouds in your head.
This is just gorgeous. I'm sorry you can't really see it that well against the sun. Something else that happened this summer, we got a new roommate, so now we have 5 people in the house again, and he's a pretty cool dude. Yeah, we went on another hike, I don't know, a few months ago, about 2 car hours south of Tucson. He works roughly there because he's on an internship getting ecological data from trapping insects and just like ecologists do for a long-term data set. That's pretty cool. As I am ascending through the green wilderness. Lots of little frogs and butterflies here. And a ant colony right next to it. A puffball mushroom.
Dance in the light as if no one's really there. I feel the sun in my skin, the wind in my hair, and I know we're driving but we're going nowhere.
I already told you earlier that I was becoming really excited about exercise in general. And I kept up with that habit. I was walking and running to the grocery stores. Usually like once a week or so. I go to the rec center and do some weight workout, resistance training, and in the end swim a few laps, and it's been really great. I've been on a really steep learning curve of trying to get everything in place, my breathing and the posture, what to focus on. So it's been a great exercise, almost meditative. And last week I took a course in stand-up paddle yoga, which is as difficult, I guess, as it sounds. But even though I have never done either of those two things, I was one of the very few people there that never fell off their board. But it was challenging at times. By the way, I'm wearing this silly and dirty hat that I picked up from the street because I lost my Arizona hat on the travel to Florida. It's becoming really flowery and it smells amazing. Tons of butterflies here. And the reason for all of this greenery and wildlife is that this monsoon season has been so far, I think, the second wettest on records for Tucson. So it has been just raining every other day or so for a few weeks. Now we're in this half jungle, comparatively speaking. From afar, the mountains like the Santa Carolinas, where I'm currently at, have a vista that reminds me of Hawaii. And now I'm here and it's still a desert, with cacti everywhere, but on top of that, or below that, all of these shrubs and grasses. That's amazing. Just a green desert.
Already won by you. I can see the winding roads up ahead.
So tragically, I lost my way off the trail, but I ain't mad. This is what I get to enjoy. It's really kind of cool, like refreshing. Someone else has clearly also walked before me here.